Before we get into today's show, let me tell you about the latest deal from Mike Lindell, MyPillow. Once again, the big box stores have canceled their orders simply because they don't agree with Mike Lindell's politics. They don't like it because he supports President Trump. Well, he's going to pass that savings on to you. No more middleman. And boy, does he have some great deals on the Giza Dream sheets and the Percal bed sheets. Listen to this. Giza Dream queen size, normally $139.98. Your wholesale price, $69.99 when you use promo code Joey. King size, only $79.99. The Percal queen size, normally $89.98. Your wholesale price, $29.98 when you use promo code Joey. Just call 1-800-893-4059 or go to MyPillow.com. Always use promo code Joey. Free shipping options available. This allotment's not going to last very long. When they're gone, they're gone. MyPillow.com, promo code Joey. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. Welcome in on this Monday after Easter edition of the show. Hope you had a wonderful, just a beautiful Easter weekend with your family, your friends, and had a great service in church or however you celebrate the day of resurrection. It was just a beautiful, sunny weekend for me. A lot to cover today. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito blasted what he called the unprecedented SCOTUS move to halt President Trump's Venezuelan deportations, calling it legally questionable. Cornell University is being blasted for inviting a vile Jew-hater, Kehlani, to perform on campus, as the school defends its move as just giving students what they want. We have the details of this performer. South Carolina Congresswoman Sheri Biggs will join us to discuss her first 100 days in the U.S. House of Representatives. And finally, we'll also hear from the other Congresswoman from South Carolina, as Representative Nancy Mace is in the headlines again, this time as she was confronted in a grocery store over the weekend. You're going to want to stick around for this one.
I told you we'd be back.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
It's Joey Hudson.
I wanted to name it the Joey Hudson bill, but, they don't allow you to put names on bills. But I wanted to call it the Joey Hudson bill because I know that one's been near and dear to you for a number of years.
That's how it's done. Let your voice be heard.
And the truth shall set you free.
Here's Joey Hudson.
It was a disappointing move from the U.S. Supreme Court on Saturday, and the late-night decision to temporarily block the Trump administration's deportation of Venezuelan migrants under the Alien Enemies Act is drawing serious criticism from Justice Samuel Alito, who issued a sharply worded dissent. Alito slammed the court for acting what he called literally in the middle of the night without a full hearing or response from the opposing side and without any explanation for the emergency stay, he said. The majority's decision, which was also supported by Justices Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett, puts a hold on deportation of Venezuelans detained at the Bluebonnet Detention Center in Texas. The justices advised the Trump administration not to proceed with removals until further order of this court. This is part of the ongoing efforts by the Trump administration to deport illegals, particularly the worst of the worst. They're using one tool that no one realized they had. It was an obscure wartime act last used back in World War II that allows the government, when a person or a group of people are considered terrorists, to be removed immediately. Well, the leftists has gone nuts. And unfortunately, it appears that some of our more conservative justices on the Supreme Court are helping them out. Alito, joined by Clarence Thomas, blasted the move as unnecessary and out of step with normal legal procedures. He said, "We had no good reason to think issuing an order at midnight was necessary or appropriate." Alito emphasized that both the executive and judicial branches must follow the law and standard process. Alito went on to write, "The court issued unprecedented and legally questionable relief without giving the lower courts a chance to rule, without hearing from the opposing party." He wrote, "Within 8 hours of receiving the application with dubious factual support for its order and without providing any explanation for its order. It was a bit odd. And Alito and Clarence Thomas are calling their fellow so-called conservative justices out on this one. The ruling, of course, came in response to this to an emergency appeal by the ACLU. The ACLU and some of these leftist groups are fighting Trump every step of the way, trying to convince people that these illegals, these terrorists, have rights. They argue that deportations under the 1798 Alien Enemies Act resumed in violation of due process. The AEA allows for the removal of individuals from enemy nations without a hearing, a law that has rarely been used, granted, in modern times, but it's a law. It's on the books. Congress passed it many, many years ago. Obviously, it's 1798. It's been there a while. The Trump administration has invoked it to remove certain Venezuelan nationals, citing national security concerns. Later on Saturday, the administration lawyers pushed back, claiming that they had provided proper notice to detainees and that anyone filing a habeas claim would not be deported under the AEA. The administration urged the court to lift the stay and let the lower courts work through the legal and factual issues first. The legal fight over deportations, again, it's an ongoing saga. But the case is now squarely at the center of a much broader debate over the scope of presidential power and immigration enforcement and how far 18th century laws can be used in the 21st century crisis. And let me repeat, this law is still on the books. And kudos to Donald Trump and his administration for uncovering it. Nobody else had thought about it until now. And this is how you know that Donald Trump is serious about getting these illegals and these and in this case, illegal terrorists out of our country to keep our community safe. Democrat National Committee Vice Chair David Hogg. Last week I told you about the fact that as a vice chairman of the DNC, he was targeting Democrat members, particularly of the U.S. House of Representatives, saying that they needed to be defeated. They needed to be primaried and defeated in order for the leftists of the party to resume control of the party. And he seemed to be backing it up. He got called a lot of flack for it because, as you probably know, National Committee officers like this, the leaders of the National Committee, whether it's the Democrat Party or the Republican Party, are not supposed to be involved in primaries like this, and particularly are not supposed to be involved in recruiting candidates to oppose their own party members. Hogg took issue with it. He's not backing down. He wrote a check for $100,000 to the Democrat Congressional Campaign Committee. This news first came out last week, reported by Politico and Axios. It was confirmed by Hogg in an X post last week on late Friday afternoon, saying, "This is not me playing nice. It is demonstrating my commitment to winning back the House and making Hakeem Jeffries the Speaker, which is an absolute imperative," he wrote. This guy's dangerous. He went on to say, "But we need a better Democrat Party and need to get rid of the Democrats in safe seats who do not understand what is at stake right now, who are asleep at the wheel, not meeting the moment, and are a liability now and to the future of our party." This guy was 25 years old. He added that the path forward requires us to do both things. He said, "We absolutely cannot wait for people to retire at their own leisure or to let them sit there and do nothing while the country is burning." Now, you know, I can't argue with that. I agree with him. It's just, if you're going to do that, then don't become vice chairman of your national party. Hogg originally announced that his organization, Leaders We Deserve, planned to dedicate $20 million to electing younger primary candidates against the older incumbents. This is the kid from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. He's a shooting survivor. He predicted that, quote, "some incumbents will rise to the challenge and emerge stronger due to our initiative." He went on to say, too, others will demonstrate that they should be replaced. Either way, we will all win, especially when we're not challenging frontline Democrat incumbents. We all want the House back. This guy shook up the party. And again, I can't argue with the fact that, yes, some of those need to be replaced. We have some Republicans who need to be replaced. But you can't be a party officer and be challenging people within your party like that. This initiative was blasted by veteran strategist James Carville, who called the plan the most insane thing he'd ever heard. Carville questioned it, making the argument that I just did. He said he is an officer of the Democrat National Committee, and so he has a fiduciary duty to the Democrat Party, and he's going to raise $20 million in primary Democrats. Does he really think the problem that we're facing in the United States today is because we got 65-year-old Democrats in office? Why don't you take on a Republican? That's your job, Carville said. And for once, I agree with James Carville. He has a point there. Hi, Joey Hudson here. You know, this spring there's a renewed energy and focus on efficiencies, and shaking up unhealthy habits don't serve us well. There's so much chatter about making America great again, but it starts in your home with you being the best, healthiest version of yourself. And PhD Weight Loss is doing their part because for the first time ever, the first 11 callers get 2 free weeks added to your weight loss program. That is huge. PhD's out to prove that you don't need Big Pharma to reach your goals. It just creates dependency, not long-term change. Dr. Ashley Lucas researched weight loss trends for years and discovered a scientifically proven way to retrain your body to burn fat efficiently without hunger, extreme exercise, or dangerous medications. PhD clients watch their belly fat disappear, their energy skyrocket, cholesterol and blood pressure normalize without starving themselves. I lost over 30 pounds and I've never felt better. So call now and mention promo code Joey for my 2 weeks for free with my program. Call 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900 or go to myphdweightloss.com. Another one of these leftist-leaning universities is attracting attention again. This time, Cornell University. They have invited a Jew-bashing entertainer known as Kehlani, I'm not familiar with her body of work, to perform on campus on May the 7th, and they're defending the move as just giving its students what they want. Now, Kehlani has a music video that starts with "Long live the Intifada," an inflammatory phrase that critics say promotes violence against Israelis and Jews. And this young lady shared a map online that eliminates the entire state of Israel. And one more thing. She refused to condemn Hamas for the October 7th, 2023 massacre. And she's being invited to perform at a university and probably being paid handsomely to do so. The invite to this multi-Grammy Award nominated R&B artist, I can't believe that the Grammys would be giving away awards or nominating people like this person. But it comes, of course, after the Trump administration froze $1 billion in federal funding to the upstate Ivy League school amid a civil rights probe over whether it failed to prevent anti-Semitic demonstration and harassment on its campus. And now they're going to let this young lady perform? I hope the Trump administration just cancels the funding altogether. Just take the $1 billion away if they haven't learned their lesson. One disgusted Cornell student, Amanda Silberstein, said Kehlani isn't just an artist with controversial views. She is someone who has publicly glorified violence against Jews and consistently promoted dangerous anti-Semitic rhetoric that directly threatens our community. She said, for a university that claims to value inclusion and the safety for all students, this decision is not just tone deaf, it is profoundly alienated. Ms. Silberstein is a 21-year-old junior who is president of the Chabad Center at the school and vice president of the group Cornell for Israel. She said, by inviting someone with such a deeply troubling history of anti-Semitism to headline one of our most high-profile campus events, Cornell is sending a message that Jewish safety and well-being are negotiable. And she's right. Shame on Cornell. Shame on the leadership for allowing this to happen. The watchdog group Stop Anti-Semitism agreed that the invitation is beyond the pale and previously highlighted the performer's anti-Israel and anti-Semitic views in a July 12th, 2024 post when they said Kehlani supports the terrorist regime Hamas under the guise of resistance. It cited her Next to You music video that admired the Palestinian terror group's violence against Israelis on October the 7th of 2023, opening her song with Long Live the Intifada, appearing across the screen and featuring dancers waving Palestinian flags. That's more than just resistance. That's more than freedom of speech. And hey, look, if that's how she feels, that's great. Let her have those beliefs. She has that right. It's just a university like Cornell shouldn't be using what I assume to be student activity fees and federal dollars to support such entertainers. The group noted that Kehlani refused to condemn Hamas for the massacre of the Israeli civilians that day. Of all people, I mean, so many were literally slaughtered at the music festival, some of the first victims of this assault, and this musician doesn't respect or what happened to those young kids at the music festival. The group said instead, Kehlani directly called for the destruction of Israel and its people. Kehlani doubles down on her support for the global call to murder Jews by sharing genocidal phrases such as "Long live the resistance" and "From the river to the sea." The singer also shared a map on Instagram. Get this now. She showed this map that eliminates the state of Israel, and she promoted several posts and uttered rants including Zionists are all evil and Zionists are the scum of the earth and they should all go to hell. She said on X last year, it's F Israel, it's F Zionism, and it's F a lot of y'all too. Wow. This young lady needs her mouth washed out with soap. The Stop Anti-Semitism founder, Leora Rez, said, now Cornell is doubling down by featuring vile Jew-hater Kehlani as a headliner for their end-of-the-year celebration. Kehlani uses her platform of 20 million followers, more than the number of Jews on the planet, to incite hate against the world's only Jewish state. She said she openly calls for an intifada, the violent targeting of Jews and the eradication of Zionists, code for over 95% of the global Jewish population. She went on to say black students wouldn't be expected to welcome a KKK rock band on campus. Asian students weren't told Asian hate, get over it. So why are Jewish students treated as the exception? And it's a valid question. It's a valid question for the powers that be at Cornell. Rest said Cornell and every other university enabling bigotry, harassment, and violent extremism must be fully defunded, investigated for foreign funding, and have their endowments, real estate, and income taxed. Take their nonprofit status away. Let them pay tax on that money that they raise from these hate groups. Now, of course, Cornell defended the invitation. Cornell said that Kehlani is performing at the request of a student-run group on Slope Day, an end-of-year celebration for students. A Cornell rep said the headliner is selected by the student-run Slope Day Planning Board following a poll of students. Kehlani was chosen based on her popularity and the genre of her music. She recently performed at Northeastern University without political expression or incident. Well, look, if she's that popular, great. Again, do it off campus somewhere. Don't use student money and don't use federal money to support it. Just because some of the students wanted it, does that mean you have to give it to them? Does that mean you have to alienate a large part of your student population? Of course, Kehlani's reps would not respond to the New York Post, who first broke the story. Cornell has been roiled by numerous anti-Israel protests, and Jewish students' lives have been threatened. Just last year, student Patrick Day pleaded guilty to threatening to kill Jews in post on the university's website. That's how it is at Cornell. Shame on the Cornell University leadership for allowing this to happen. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Speaking of the Firmin Ford text line, it's never been more important to support locally run businesses owned by people who actually live here in the upstate. Let me take a minute to talk with you about our friends at Firmin Ford. If you're looking for a new vehicle, maybe a great pre-owned vehicle, one you could trust, or maybe you're looking to order that special vehicle. Either way, if you want a new one, a brand new one, or a pre-owned that you can trust, the folks at Firmin Ford, they're there to help you. Their name is on the sign because their name is on the line, because every single transaction is important to them. Jim Firmin, Matthew Firmin. They do business the right way. When you stop by, when you give them a call, or maybe when you just send them a quick email, you're always going to have access to a member of the Firmin Ford family. And by the way, they also offer great service, and you're not going to have to wait weeks and weeks to get it done. And you do not have had to purchase your vehicle at Firmin Ford. Doesn't even have to be a Ford. They service all makes and models. Visit my friends at Firmin Ford online at firminford.com, firminford.com. Joining on our guest line today from the 3rd Congressional District, Representative Sheri Biggs. Welcome. It's good to have you on again.
Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. You have completed now, just over 100 days in the 119th Congress. Do you feel like it's been an effective few months so far?
It has been extremely busy. Some days it doesn't seem like it's been, it's gone by quickly, I'll just say that. But we've been mission focused, and there is a lot of enthusiasm, and there's excitement. I mean, we're all working hard, but we're leaning into President Trump's America First agenda, and it's a good time. It really is.
Yeah. Of course, President Trump and his administration, they are literally moving at breakneck speed. Do you think that the Congress has that same sense of urgency that he has to get things done?
We do. I can tell you that the president has been in direct contact with leadership on a daily basis, and we are sitting in on meetings, committee meetings, and hearing firsthand his expectations. He's sending his staff over to communicate with us, so everyone is listening and trying to make the best of the short time that we have, and working very hard.
Yeah. Of course, immigration continues to be a big issue. We see these activist judges putting up roadblocks, it seems like, every step of the way. Do you believe the Congress will eventually step in and clarify the roles of these federal district judges? Is that something that you guys may get involved with?
There has been a lot of discussion about that. But I think they're just panicking, and they don't really know what else to do. But I think it's unfortunate because it's a waste of time, a waste of taxpayer dollars, and the president is in the driver's seat, and we all really need to get on board and just work together to get this done.
Yeah. One of the most recent decisions, just this past weekend, the U.S. Supreme Court issuing a ruling blocking, at least for now, a lower court's decision to block the deportation of Venezuelans held in North Texas under the 18th century wartime law. What are your thoughts on the use of the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to deport illegals?
Well, for me, everything that's going on, whether it's the judges or the protesters, as an American, we should be mission focused on a strong national defense and securing our communities. I know people in our district in 3, they want to live in a safe environment and not fear when they send their children to school that something is going to happen to them. It's hard for me to comprehend, and it really seems anti-American that we allow those illegals, and they're criminals. I mean, the fact is that they're criminals, the ones that we're trying to get rid of, and it makes our communities unsafe. So I can't imagine, regardless of which side of the aisle you're on, that you would be opposed to the president trying to keep us safe.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, depending on which side of the aisle you're on, you're right. I mean, I would think that this would be a nonpartisan issue, that we all would want our country to be safe. Senator Chris Van Hollen last week, I thought it was just probably a publicity stunt going down to El Salvador, and then did eventually meet with Garcia. What do you think about a member of the U.S. Senate and even a member of the U.S. House wanting to go to a foreign country like that to try to, in my mind, trying to protect them more than protecting American citizens?
Well, that's saying the obvious. I mean, it's, as I just said, anti-American, and I don't know how the people in his district would support him, the people in his state, because he's utilizing taxpayer dollars, and for what? It's not going to make America first. It's not going to put America first, and it's not going to better things in our country. It's I can't even believe we're having to discuss that. It's ridiculous.
Did you happen to see over the weekend where someone put a plaque over his over the plaque going into his office door? They put El Salvador rather than Maryland.
Oh wow! I have not seen that. I've had a busy weekend, so we've been working Friday, Saturday, and it's just trying to get out and about and cover the district.
Well, and I saw some of the photos that you posted in Greenwood and just all around. I mean, you have a pretty big geographic area to cover.
I do. I was in McCormick. I was in Central. I was in Lawrence, the edge of Greenville, Pickens. It's been busy, really busy, but I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, and tonight, of course, you're going to have your first telephone town hall. Talk with us about that, and how can people participate?
Well, if you go to our website, it's Sheri Biggs, SHERIBIGGS.house.gov. Go to our website, and you can get all the information on how to participate in that. It will be at 6 p.m., and we just thought that would be the best way to cover our entire district of all 11 counties and give our constituents an opportunity to call in and give me their feedback and things that they're concerned about, and just maintain those lines of communication. This is really, I guess, the first labeled town hall, but I was in McCormick, and we had something similar. We called it, I think, coffee and conversation or something similar to that with the sheriff. But we had over 100 people, I would say, there, and both Democrats and Republicans voicing their concerns. So this is just another way. The telephone town hall meeting is just another way to draw in a lot more constituents and to get feedback covering the entire district. So
I would assume anyone in your district is welcome to participate, and will they be able to ask questions?
Absolutely.
Yes.
They can ask questions, give me comments, voice their concerns, whatever's on their mind. This is their opportunity.
Yep. And again, that's SheriBiggs.house.gov. You can also call, and it starts at 6 o'clock tonight. You can call 833-380-0737. That's 833-380-0737 at 6 o'clock tonight. Representative Biggs, it's always a pleasure. I appreciate your time today and appreciate what you do for the 3rd District.
Thank you so much. And I would like to mention that we have our new bill, the Fighter Act, and you should be able to get information on my website about that. But this is our first bill that we've introduced, and I would love everybody to read that and give me their thoughts on that as well.
Well, we'll take a minute. We have another minute or so. Take a minute and just give us the summary of that.
Well, it's simple. It's pretty much common sense. If you're serving in uniform, I don't feel like you should be taxed on the pay that you earn as a service member. You know, these individuals are making sacrifices, and I think it's a good way for us help with recruiting and retention and show the next generation that we're behind you. And the President and the Secretary of Defense have made it very clear that we want to build up our military and continue to be a strong country. And this is one effort to express that, our gratitude.
And speaking of military service, you shared something with me the other day that I wasn't aware of, but you and Representative William Timmons from the 4th District, I remember you saying that you were just 3 members of Congress who are active duty. Am I correct on that?
Yes, that there are 3 members that are currently serving that are in Congress. That's correct.
Wow. Well, thank you for your service both in the U.S. Congress and in our armed services as well.
Well, let me finish up by saying the Fighter Act would exclude us. That we have an exemption in the bill to exempt us as members of Congress. It's not about us. It's about those members. So I would like to mention that as well. Yeah. But thank you so much, and I am so grateful and honored to be serving in Congress for the 3rd District, and I look forward to the conversations on tonight. Yep.
Representative Sheri Biggs, again, you can participate in her telephone town hall tonight at sheribiggs.house.gov or call 833-380-0737 at 6 p.m. This evening. Representative Biggs, always a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
As we continue today's show, we just heard from 3rd District Congresswoman Sheri Biggs. Of course, South Carolina has another female member of the U.S. House of Representatives, Representative Nancy Mace from the 1st Congressional District. And boy, she's making the headlines on social media again. Have you seen the latest? I'd love to get your feedback on this. It seems that Ms. Mace recorded a confrontation with a voter over when she was going to hold her next town hall, with the exchange ending in a number of expletives and insults from both sides. May said in a post on X Saturday, along with a video of the confrontation, she wrote, "Some unhinged lunatic wearing Daisy Dukes at a makeup store got in my face today. Dems are nuts, so I went off and I won't be backing down." Now, the video, which is not quite 2 minutes, appears to start shortly after this exchange started between Mace and this, he says he's a voter in her district. He evidently asked when she would be doing another town hall. Now, let's give some background on this. You know, Democrats have been pushing Republicans to hold town hall meetings, and they claim that Republicans are reluctant to do so. Now, as we just talked about a few minutes ago, Representative Sheri Biggs is holding her telephone town hall this afternoon at 6 o'clock. You can participate if you'd like. If you missed that segment, go back and listen on the podcast. Just search for Joey Hudson, Just the Truth. And you can listen to my conversation with Sheri Biggs just a little while ago. But this has been a big issue because some members of Congress have not had town halls because they have turned violent in some areas, and particularly against Republicans. And there's been a big push in the low country in that 1st Congressional District, particularly around Charleston, for Nancy Mace to hold town hall meetings. And according to some of her detractors, she refuses to do so. According to Nancy Mace, she has had one. You'll hear her say that in a minute. But she has refrained from having others right now. Mace, on this X post, brings attention to this video, which is just, again, it's not quite 2 minutes. Appears to start with a question. The conversation then turns to Mace explaining that she does town halls every year while accusing the voter of harassing her. And you see the guy in the video. She then kind of turns the conversation when she informs the man that she, quote, voted for gay marriage twice, a point that evidently offended this guy. And that's when the conversation quickly turned confrontational, with Mace calling the man crazy. Now warning. I have bleeped out the graphic language for you. Here's the exchange in what appeared to be in a grocery store.
I do them every year.
Every year.
You want to keep going?
Do you want
to keep going and keep harassing me? You could have gone to a dozen town halls last year.
I asked if you're doing any more this year. It was one simple question.
Yeah.
Are you doing a town
I've
hall
already
this
done
year?
one. I'll do plenty
Are you doing
more.
any more this year? It was a simple question.
You're always invited.
Okay, sweet. Well,
And by the way, I voted for gay marriage twice.
What does that have to do with
So
me?
I'm just saying, it has everything to do with
Do you
you.
think everything about me has to do with gay marriage?
I do,
That's
absolutely.
your first stance when you
Yep.
speak with me?
Absolutely.
There's no other humane
If you want to get in my
conversation you
face
can have
about town
me?
halls, you should have shown
There's
up to
no
one
other
last
humane
year.
thing you can talk about me just saying, oh, I support gay marriage.
Yeah,
That's the
because
only
you're
thing you
getting in
have
my
to
face
say.
about a town hall. You
Oh,
could have
just
gone
ask me
last
one simple
year.
question from right
Would you
over
like
here
me?
is if you have any plans to have more town halls this year.
I have town
That
halls
was one
every year.
question.
I have over a dozen
Okay.
every year.
Great. That was my entire question. You didn't have to go
Yeah.
into the spiel about
You
everything
could
else
have
you
you
want
could
to.
have come to any of them last year.
Okay. And I'm
I had
asking you
over a
about this year, not
dozen.
2024. But
Where were you the year
right?
before that?
Okay.
Or the year before that?
It was a simple
Oh,
question. I
because
asked
you know
if
what?
have
Because you
any more
people
that you're
on the
going to
left
this year
are
or not.
crazy.
So I'm
You're
on the left.
absolutely crazy.
I'm absolutely
You are.
crazy.
And get out of my face.
You're insane.
Goodbye.
You're insane.
Thank you.
You're gonna me and you're
Yep.
gonna be voted
Bye.
out so fast this year. I
I'm
can't
not.
wait for you to
I'm
fucking
not.
go
I
into
won
the
by
dirt.
so much.
You're a disgrace to this state. That's what you are. You're a disgrace. I asked you a simple question and you just to go on this tirade and tell me you.
Yeah. You.
Disgusting.
Get out of my face.
You.
Get out of my face. Try it again. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
You say me?
Yep, I sure
The first
did.
thing you're saying is
Absolutely.
asking you a
Get
question.
the out of my face.
You.
Now.
You.
You. You couldn't take me on, baby. Say the away from me.
Wow. Now, I lost count of how many times they used the F word. Afterwards, Mace posted the exchange to social media, so it's out there. You can watch it, the unedited version. She said, I hold the line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Try me. Mace's office did not respond to requests from the media for comment. So was this for real? Do you think this was staged possibly? Or do you think this was a real confrontation between a member of the U.S. House of Representatives and one of her constituents in her district? Is this how a member of the U.S. House of Representatives should act? Or is it okay? Was she just holding her ground? Do you believe that it's okay for a member of Congress to act like this when they're confronted in a grocery store? Now, in all honesty, and again, we don't know what happened before she pushed record on her phone. But you see the guy initially, I mean, it was kind of tame, and he apparently recognized who she was in the aisle of this store and asked her when she was going to have another town hall. She didn't like the idea, and she jumped back. She defended herself. But really, is this the way that a U.S. Congresswoman should act? Was this appropriate? Even if she was confronted in this store out in public, should she have maybe just said, hey, well, I'm going to have another one. I had 12 last year. I'll have another one soon. Hope you'll come, and keep moving. But watching the video, it's like she wanted to engage this guy. I mean, and when she said, hey, I voted for gay marriage twice, she did that purposely. She did that to push this guy's buttons, and boy, did he respond exactly the way she hoped. Send me a quick text message. Email me, joey@joeyhudson.com. I really would love to hear what you have to say about this. You can leave me a message on the MyPillow message line, 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Remember, always use promo code Joey when you go to MyPillow.com and place those orders to get the very best deal. Promo code Joey at MyPillow.com or call 800-893-4059. And look, Mike Lindell still has the great deal on the Giza Dream Sheets. Queen size normally $139.98. Your cost only $69.99 with promo code Joey. King size $79.99. So go to MyPillow.com, use promo code Joey. But I'd love to hear from you. Is this appropriate for a United States Congresswoman to act like this? To use this type of language? I mean, you could see people around the store listening to these two people, these two adults. Am I just old-fashioned for thinking that you shouldn't be using this type of language, especially if you're a member of the U.S. Congress and out in the open so that your other constituents can see how you act when you're being asked what the guys called a simple question? And I would have to agree with that. I mean, I think it's a fair question. When are you going to have a town hall? Emails, joey@joeyhudson.com. Text me. Leave me a quick message on the MyPillow message line, 864-477-JOEY.
That's it for today's edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. Just click on the share button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code Joey. Order online at mypillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.